Hi, my name is Sharon. I am a 33-year-old mother and culinary enthusiast. 7 years ago, I married the love of my life, Jordan. We were full of dreams and promises. But as years passed, our life together took an unexpected turn. Jordan, once ambitious and supportive, fell into the dark world of drug addiction. Unemployed and increasingly distant, his presence began to feel more like a shadow in our home. Our son, Frank, is 4 years old now. His laughter is my refuge, a sweet escape from the mounting challenges I face daily. To support us, I turned my passion for cooking into a career and started a YouTube channel. It's more than just a job. It's a lifeline, a connection to a world where I am more than just Jordan's wife or Frank's mother. I am Sharon, a creator and an inspiration for many who tune in to watch my cooking shows. Each day, I balance filming new content with caring for Frank. Though our life seems a picture of domestic bliss on screen, the reality is a daily struggle against the chaos that Jordan's addiction has brought into our home. It was a bleak Tuesday morning when my phone rang, piercing the calm with its urgency. My father's voice, usually so full of life, sounded nothing but exhausted and shattered as he relayed the heart-wrenching news. "Sharon, your mom passed away last night after her long fight with cancer." The room spun as I processed his words. My mother, the cornerstone of my existence, gone. Tears blurred my vision and a deep, inconsolable sorrow settled in my heart. I knew I had to be strong for my son, for my father, but in that moment, all I felt was an overwhelming sense of loss. "I need to go home, Jordan," I told my husband, seeking some semblance of support or understanding. His response was cold, detached. "I'm not going to that funeral. Deal with it yourself." His words stung, adding anger to my grief. We argued, harsh, bitter words that ended with him storming out of the room. I packed my bags in a daze, Frank clinging to my side, sensing the turmoil. We left for my childhood home, a place of countless memories, now to be the setting of my deepest sorrow. The drive to my hometown was quiet, filled with reflective silence and Frank's soft snores from the back seat. Arriving felt surreal, each familiar landmark steeped in nostalgia and now piercing loss. My father greeted us at the door, his face etched with grief. We embraced, a silent exchange of shared sorrow and mutual support. The funeral was the next day. The chapel was filled with somber faces, relatives and friends who had loved my mother dearly. I held Frank close, his presence a comforting weight against the heavy air of mourning. After the service, my father pulled me aside. His hands trembled as he handed me a small, ornate box. "Your mother wanted you to have this," he said, his voice cracking with emotion. Inside was a beautiful gold locket, shining despite the dim light. She wore it every day, said it was her strength. Holding the locket, I felt a wave of resolve. "I'll cherish it, Dad. It'll remind me of her, always." That night, as Frank slept and the house quieted, I sat with my father, reminiscing about better times, our conversation a healing balm for our wounded hearts. The visit was a painful reminder of what was gone, but also a reaffirmation of the bonds that still held us together. After spending a few more days with my father, helping him adjust to the quiet of a house now too large, it was time to return home. Frank and I packed our belongings, the locket safely tucked around my neck, a small comfort against the looming challenges ahead. Arriving back, the atmosphere was starkly different, tense, like a string pulled too tight. Jordan was there, his presence like a dark cloud. I tried to break the ice, hoping for some normalcy. I brought back Mom's locket. "It means a lot to me," I said, touching the gold at my throat. Jordan barely glanced at it, his indifference stinging. "Yeah, looks expensive," was all he muttered before shifting his attention back to the TV. That night, I lay awake, the weight of the locket against my skin a reminder of strength, a stark contrast to the growing distance between Jordan and me. The divide felt insurmountable, a chasm widened by grief and neglect. The morning sun hadn't yet chased away the chill of the night when I reached for the locket, intending to wear it as I prepared for my daily video shoot. My fingers met empty air, panic surged as I searched through the jewelry box, then around the bedroom. Nothing. I confronted Jordan, trying to keep my voice steady. "Have you seen the gold locket? It's not where I left it." His reply was quick, too quick. No. Why would I touch your stuff? But doubt nagged at me, his eyes avoiding mine. As the day progressed, the unease turned into a gnawing certainty. I needed to know. Late at night, when Jordan was asleep, I quietly retrieved the laptop and accessed the CCTV footage. The screen flickered to life, revealing the truth in grainy, motion-captured frames. Jordan, searching through my jewelry box, pocket, and leaving the room. Tears of betrayal mixed with a fierce resolve. I had my answer, and now I needed to act. The morning after discovering the truth, I confronted Jordan, my heart pounding with a mix of anger and sorrow. The laptop was open on the kitchen table, the footage paused on the incriminating scene. His face fell when he saw it. Why Jordan? My voice was steady, demanding an answer. Jordan's eyes shifted, looking for an escape that wasn't there. I needed money, okay? It wasn't supposed to be a big deal. A big deal? That locket was the last thing my mother gave me. My voice broke with the weight of betrayal. His excuses fell flat, and I knew what I had to do. I called the police, reported the theft, and watched, detached, as they conducted their investigation. The locket was eventually found at a local pawnshop and returned to me, tarnished by the ordeal, but physically intact. Jordan tried to apologize, his words a jumble of regret and desperation, but the damage was done. I could not unsee the betrayal, could not unfeel the sting of his actions. The decision was clear and necessary. The days following the recovery of the locket were cold and silent in our home. Jordan's apologies hung in the air, ignored and insufficient. I knew our marriage was irreparably broken. His betrayal had severed whatever threads of trust had survived the challenges we faced. I sat across from him at the kitchen table, the divorce papers neatly stacked between us. I want a divorce, I said firmly, my voice resolute. Jordan looked defeated, the reality of our ending finally dawning on him. Sharon, please, I'm sorry. I'll change, he pleaded. It's too late for that, I replied, my decision unwavering. I have to think about what's best for Frank and me. He signed the papers with a shaky hand, the finality of the act marking the end of our shared journey. As he left, the weight of my decision settled in, heavy but necessary. Turning back to the life I had to rebuild, I focused on Frank and the growth of my YouTube channel. It was time to move forward, to create a future defined not by the mistakes of the past, but by the possibilities of tomorrow. With the divorce finalized, a new chapter of my life began. My home, once clouded by tension and uncertainty, now breathed a lighter air. Frank and I spent our days finding a new rhythm, our bond deepening in the space left by Jordan's absence. My YouTube channel, my sanctuary of creativity, became our shared project. Frank's giggles often filled the background of my videos, bringing smiles to my subscribers. My community of followers grew, drawn to the authenticity and joy that had blossomed in my life. One evening, as Frank played with his toys, I sat at my desk, planning the content for the coming weeks. The doorbell rang, a delivery, unexpected but welcome. A new camera I had ordered to improve my video quality, a tangible sign of my commitment to moving forward, to making the most of every opportunity. I'm doing this for us, Frank, I murmured, more to myself than to him, feeling a surge of determination. We're going to be just fine. The path wasn't easy, but it was ours, and every day we grew stronger, more connected, and more hopeful about the future we were building together. Life after the storm of my marriage brought unexpected blessings. My YouTube channel, once a side project, blossomed into a thriving community. Each new video I posted was met with enthusiastic comments and shares, propelling my channel to new heights. The success was not just in numbers, but in the doors it opened for me and Frank. One afternoon, I received an email that marked a turning point. Congratulations, Sharon. Your channel has been selected for a feature in a renowned online culinary magazine. The opportunity to share my story and recipes on such a platform was both exhilarating and validating. Frank clapped his hands, smiling up at me as I read the email aloud. Mommy's a star, he giggled, and I scooped him into my arms, overwhelmed by a sense of accomplishment and joy. Looks like we're making waves, buddy, I told him, kissing his forehead. Our hard work is paying off. The feature was a hit, drawing more viewers to my channel and offering new networking opportunities. I poured my heart into each recipe, each video sharing not just my culinary skills, but also the journey of resilience and hope that flavored my creations. As my professional life thrived, so did my personal one. Frank and I found stability and happiness in our new routine, surrounded by a community that supported and uplifted us. Each success was a testament to our strength and the new life we had courageously built together. As I stood by the window one morning, watching the sunrise paint the sky with hues of orange and pink, I reflected on the journey that had brought me to this moment of peace. The challenges had been many, but they had forged a new version of myself, stronger, wiser, and more determined. Holding the gold locket, now a symbol of my journey, I whispered to myself, "We did it, Mom. We're free." It was a daily affirmation of my resilience and the legacy of strength my mother had passed down. Frank bounded into the room, his energy infectious. "What are we filming today, Mom?" he asked, his eyes bright with anticipation. "Today," I said, turning to him with a smile, "we're making something special. It's a celebration of where we've been and where we're going." As the camera rolled, I shared not just a recipe, but my story.